Turn that around. Oh, we're live. Look at the state of my Audi. Where am I at? Welcome, Saturday morning live with Johnyboy. I'm talking to nobody at the moment. We haven't got any live viewers, but we will have a couple in a moment, hopefully with a bit of luck. Let me just see if I can get the channel up on here now. Let's have a look. Should be live. There we are. There it is. Should be live. There we are. There it is. Mute. It's muted. There we go. I can just see what. Oh, good morning, Steve. How's it going, bud? How's it going? Good to see you straight away. Sick of lives. How's those boys getting on down there? Abdul Alanzi. Good morning, bud. How are you? It's me. It's Johnyboy. I've been away doing other things and not doing the live show on a Saturday. Certainly not last Saturday because we were having a rest. And the Saturday before, we had the meetup at Styles. Styles is a paving supplier, porcelain paving supplier, run by a gentleman called Matt Williams. And Matt Williams is a gentleman, without a doubt, a gentleman. And certainly with Style, it's not about the dollar, it is about supporting people. Liam is good and the other boy is gone. What a nightmare. Joe, Steve, I gotta say hello to Liam for me. Hope he's good. Maybe give the other boy a chance. I don't know why he left, but it'd be good to know. Paul's on here. Good morning, Paul. How are you, mate? Where are you calling from, Paul? I want to know where everyone's calling from this morning, where they're joining us from on Saturday Morning Live. Are you doing the daily grind? Are you working or are you at home? Not for him, mate. Oh, there we are. It says it is. Steve, it's unbelievable when you think that the amount of vacancies that are out there. There's 1 million vacancies, 1 million jobs available for people across the country, but they're not taking it. Abdul Adlanzi, he's in Cardiff. Abdul, great, absolutely fantastic. A local boy on here. Good to see you, mate. How you doing? How's it in Cardiff this morning? The weather's all right. It's not bad weather. As I've said, we've been around. We've been doing some things. Me and Liam are hard at it today. Liam, son, keep at it. It'll be worth it in the end. Nothing comes easy. Nothing comes easy at all. Life wasn't meant to be easy. The more we grind it out in the early years, the better it should be later on in life. And that's when you learn those values. I hope you're watching now, Liam. And if you are, all the best, son. Look, I do apologise. We are going to start getting some more sort of little freebies we can give out on a Saturday. I'm going to start arranging that with Alison. But at the moment, it's been an absolute nightmare trying to get hold of merchandise. There's been a real pain with suppliers, basically. It's a difficult thing to do. They are still having problems with shipping containers. There's all those sorts of things. We've been discussing it on this channel for some time now. We've got 10 likes. We've got 10 people joining. We've only got 2 likes. Come on, get on here and give it a like. It's worth it, isn't it? It's good to like what people's doing. It's always good to actually comment and show some respect to people when they show you good service. And I like to think that this channel shows a lot of good service. 3 likes, no sooner than I said it. 10 viewers, 11 viewers. Well, this morning you'd notice that the title was The Economy. And we have to talk about the economy at some time. I'm going to just go back where Paul said. Paul's there. I'm good, thanks. I'm in Birmingham and I'm doing quotes, mate. Brilliant. Paul, is there anything that we can do on this show this morning, on this podcast this morning, that can help you in your quotes, your terms and conditions? Do you have any terms and conditions? Because, Paul, I guarantee you, mate, across the country, some people's terms and conditions are written on the back of a fag packet. Yeah, on the back of a fag packet. I wouldn't be surprised if that has been done. And certainly, I'm sure contracts have been written in all sorts of things in the past. How good is a contract? How good is word by mouth? How much do you actually put in your terms and condition? And because that terms and condition becomes legally binding. We spoke about this so many times on the group, on this podcast, I should say, rather, and we're here to help. If anybody needs help with their terms and conditions, they're constantly changing. Trading standards sit on the fence. They don't like to tell you what they think that you should be putting in your terms and conditions, because they don't want to be held liable or accountable for setting out terms and conditions. because it's all legally binding. It's all a bit of a legal nightmare. You've got to make sure you give those people those cooling off periods. Key word, cooling off periods. You know, the title this morning is about the economy, but occasionally what happens, terms and conditions, we start talking about these things because people want to talk about it, because I want to know what you're doing across there. Let me see if I can get that up on there. I can actually see what people are saying on the computer a lot better. M&H Fencing, Landscaping, morning all. M&H Fencing and Landscaping, good to see you on here this morning. Look, I don't know what you actually think about whether you think these podcasts are worth it and whether people enjoy it or whether they like it, whether it has any value, but I know that it has value because no sooner than I did a post yesterday, and a very simple post. And the post was just to let people know that I am back. I am going to be talking about my balls, okay? We've been talking about my balls quite a bit. We are going to talk about my balls because it's so important. My balls are important to me, and my balls are important to a lot of people. Some people are thinking now, what a load of filth coming from his mouth, but it's not. Balls are important. Paul says, everything goes into my quotes, stating everything what goes into my quotes, my jobs, and what's being used as these days. You get cowboy customers as well. I'm glad that you touched upon that, Paul, because I think it's something that is valuable. You know, all the time we constantly hear about, I hate using this word because it just gets used so flippantly and easily when it comes to you know, I've got my little dog here at the moment. She's sat there, and I don't know what she's had for breakfast, but it doesn't smell good. But there you are. That's what these live shows are all about. Don't work with kids or animals. That's what they say. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, you've got to put everything in there. And Paul's touched upon an important point there about there aren't cowboy builders or contractors. Let's not just say builders. There are people out there that are participating in the service industry and aren't necessarily giving good service. And it's not just the service industry, and the service industry covers a wide spectrum of contractors and businesses. We don't just say contractors, we say businesses as well. Edward Edgley, sorry, Bud, it's me, it's not you, it's not your name, it's just how I'm reading. Love your work, mate, learned a lot from doing my own porcelain. Well, that's what we're all about, Edward. We're here to help. If you need any help with anything else at any time, we're here to help. If you want to pose any questions this morning, just let us know. I love it this morning when we get feedback of you guys because it keeps me going. As I said, Saturday morning live, welcome to it. It is about the economy, but we can see already we're going off at tangents. It's almost like having a conversation in the pub, on the beach, out for a walk. We talk about all sorts of things. Edward says, quick question if I may. I got my tiles 90 by 45. Interesting size. But somebody told me they tend to bow to get a poorer quality tiles. Get mine from Mandarin Stone. They are from Turkey. I was told already to install. The thing is, you see, Edward, what we've got to try and understand is that you've touched upon something there. And I'm not an expert in all these fields, but I'm going to read what Paul says. I'm on a job now which is nearly completed, and the property above have caused damage to the retaining wall and fencing, which is stopping me complete my job. They're refusing to get the work done. Not good at all. Not good at all. I think Paul's touched upon something this morning about those times when we're working, where he says now, property above, the job now which is nearly complete, and the property above have caused damage to a wall. What a nightmare. All I would say to anybody, what we need to do is take images and photographic evidence as we walk into a project. And as those projects, what I found, because I do that YouTube stuff, is that when we're doing those projects and I'm filming on a daily basis, you can actually see what's actually gone on when you're there and when you come back and so forth. And even the front drive and even where you're parking is so important because it's all about accountability at the moment. Fencing in Wiltshire this morning, a Saturday live show from the pouch. Yes, from the pouch, yeah, from the pooch, sorry. Yvonne Gordon, good morning, Yvonne. Yes, there's cowboy customers out there, but hopefully most of them are honest. on both sides of the fence. Yvonne, I'm going to pop down and see you this week if you'd like me to call down and see you, and we can start drawing out your project. I've caught up with a few things now at the moment, so I'll be able to come and see you. Edward said about some of the tiles tend to go if they get poorer quality. I think what we got to try and understand is that you get a thing called, in some cases, you get a thing called crowning, where the tile actually will do this in the middle. They won't be totally flat. Recently at the Styled Meetup in Banbury, you want to go on their website and have a look, check them out on Instagram, styled.com, go on there and have a look. Let me just see if I can get that link up on there. You can actually have a look at that. We had from Italy, and it's such a shame that people didn't come along because it was a fantastic day, and we had 2 Italian manufacturers that come along and did a talk on paving and what vitrified meant. What I'm just going to try and get the link up now. Let me just see if I can just get that on there. Oh. My God, no, I'm not doing it. I don't know if Alison's watching now at the moment. Oh, there we are. Got it now. Bear with me a sec. Bear with me. Let's just copy that. Let's get this on here at the moment. Yeah, and they were talking about the manufacturing process and everything to help us to actually try and understand what's going on in the industry. We need to understand the things that we're using. I just can't believe that there are so many that are going into the industry, and it's even me as well. I'm guilty of that. We need to understand the things that we use on a regular basis. Let me just see if I can get a little bit more light on here at the moment, because we need some light. So we were talking about Ed was on about let's see if I can get that on there now at the moment. 1 second, bear with me a sec, just bear with me. Yeah, I'm back. I apologise for that. The reason I had to go is because there was a Hoover going. This office is from the house, so that's what goes on. 26 live viewers. Let's get a few more likes, only 9 likes this morning. We were talking about the bowing effect. The bowing effect in slabs. It's a thing called crowning, and it's not necessarily that it's bad porcelain. It's just the manufacturing process and the pattern as well. So don't necessarily blame it on the manufacturers. Is the Turkish, Polish and all the other countries, the Indian porcelain, is it as good as Italian? The fact is, you look in places like India, they have got some fantastic, there is an area in India where they produce porcelain, and the manufacturing process, the factories are state-of-the-art factories. I'll try and get a clip up and show you at some point. You'll be blown away by how they're making it. But the thing that we got to say, the Spanish and the Italian manufacturers are without doubt probably the leaders in the industry. Are there bad Italian and Spanish porcelain manufacturers? Well, of course there is. And the reason there are some bad ones, simply because there's bad things in life everywhere. But they are old hats when it comes to manufacturing. They talked about rectification of porcelain. Rectification is basically when everything is calibrated and cut to an exact size by width, by length, and also in some depth by depth as well. And that's the rectification, where the tolerances are absolutely exceptional, very concise and precise. But the vitrifization, vitrify means basically it's about the bubbles underneath. When they make these porcelain products, it's about getting all the bubbles out, so there's no micropores on the underside or on the top side, but generally on the top side. I'm correct in saying that. The thing is about me, I've been doing this a long time. It takes me a long time to learn because of my learning process. But we had the Italians, we had Emilio and David talking about this, and I'm going to be getting a video up later on, and they're going to be talking about some of those We'll have those snippets up there of the meet. You'll be able to see a general view of what went on at the meetup at Starn, but it was massively interesting. We had Ruby tools now, we had Lithofin, we had Instamac, we had Ball Adhesives, Kieran of Ball, absolute cracking guy, and Phil and the boys there were brilliant. And Bob was really knowledgeable about sealers and cleaning. It was amazing. He actually had grout on top of a porcelain product, been there for 3 to 4 days, and he showed the tool tile test and explained how he got it off there. Pete, good morning, bud. Stan, good morning. How are you? Mario is joined us this morning from the Static Caravan. Oh, you're in Clacton. You're in Clacton. Yvonne says Friday is best. We're going to see it. Listen, I'm going to have a little sip of my tea at the moment. I'm going to read what people are saying at the moment. I got the styled link up on there. Mine is from Mandarin Stone and it's rectified. Nice to know what that means. Edward, no problem at all. If you want to speak to me now at the moment, but that's no good. If you want to call in this morning, the number is 07795 664 002. If that was Nicholas McCartney, I'd like to get you on here, Nick. If you're watching the live show, you need to call the other number, which is 07795 664 002. Good morning, Henry Flint. How you doing, bud? Good to see you on here. We're talking about all sorts of things this morning. I tell you something now, Mandarin Stone is a good company, but I don't believe that they're, and that's what it's all about. We got to try and understand that it's okay having a good product, but you want good service as well. And somebody that's epitomized good service, if you're ever looking for it, is Tudor Grass in Manchester. You need to speak to Chris there or Nick and just tell him Johnyboy said to give him a call if you're looking for artificial grass. And we got to say that some people don't necessarily like artificial grass, but for many it works perfectly. And for me, the jury is still out on how it affects the environment. I'm not quite sure. I don't believe in all the evidence that is produced. Well, I was only listening to a show on LBC on Sunday morning, and they had a guy on there and they were showing that there's evidence of the North Pole now and the Antarctic, the ice is starting to freeze over again, not because this is the time of the year, it is making a recovery. So Abdul Alanzi, love to meet you one day. Abdul, I would love to meet you, mate. And I would love to come and have a cup of tea with you. It'd be good to see you. If you want to meet up anytime, it'd be good to have a chat to you. I love meeting people. It's as simple as that. And just to let you know, my little dog is performing again. It's live. It's Saturday morning with Johnyboy. We were going to be talking about the economy, but it's not happening at the moment because we're talking about all sorts of things. I want to get like Edward. If you want to give me a ring after, my number is 07795 07795 595 994. You can go to the Greentop Landscapes website, get on there and have a look. It may give you some ideas to put on your website. You know what we do in life, we look at how other people are doing things, and that's what we're doing. We're bringing to this community. My head's gone this morning. Just had a message there from Nicholas McCartney. Nick, if you're calling, if you want to call in this morning, the number is 07795 664 002. I'm going to get that up on there now. So if anybody wants to call in this morning, it'd be nice to get Yvonne to call in this morning. 07795 664 002. Get that on there now. There's the number now. Hold on. There's the number. I can see it now. 07795 664 002. Henry Flint, you should be calling me this morning and having a chat to me. I'd love to have a chat to you this morning. It'd be good to chat to a lot of people. Mario there, is great to meet Mario the other day at the Star meet. I don't know what you actually thought of it, Mario. But I was great absolutely meeting you and meeting all those other landscapers, contractors, manufacturers. It's such a shame a lot of other people didn't go, but unfortunately I think with the death of the Queen, we got to remember it was just a great shame. The mini budget is good only for the very rich. Yeah, that's what they're saying at the moment, Yvonne. I'm glad that you commented on that. Yvonne, why don't you give me a call this morning? There's a number there. The phone is waiting here. The speaker's there. Give me a call on 07795 664 Henry says, I would love to. Children running around. That's absolutely fine. Causing chaos. Life is chaos. But what we do when we deal with chaos is that we look, listen, I don't know what you guys actually think about this. We're just touching on the economy now. We'll get back into it in just a moment. But when we got problems in life, what we got to do is when we have those problems, they hit us head on. Then once we've dealt with them, we just put them to one side. Don't leave the baggage with it. Don't just leave it to one side. Forget about it and move on. Step aside. And when you step aside and move on, that's what brings success. You know it does. Yvonne says the mini budget is only good for one thing, the very rich. Well, based on the evidence that's actually been produced, we have to say, yes, it is. I'm not sure whether it's good or whether it's bad, all of it. There are so many areas that you can look at it. Christian Morgan, where should I be buying porcelain from? The internet masses or tried and tested Mandarin stone. Christian, all I'm going to say, mate, just give Styled a ring. If Styled are watching this morning, you need... Yvonne, just call me. Look, listen, you just got to give Styled a ring. Give him a ring. Ask to speak to Matt, right? Ask to speak to Matt or Lucia or Denny or Ian or Sagrin. Speak to those guys down there. They're a brilliant company. And with every delivery, they will send you a pack of sweets. Pack of sweets aren't everything. But the thing is, with Mandarin Stone, with Styled, they will keep you updated at all time. They are there, they are available, and they are accountable, unlike many other companies. I got to say, and I got to speak as I find, the products I had at Mandarin Stone were good. There was nothing wrong with them, but what they done with me, I've known them for many years, over 30 years, and what they actually done was to not necessarily, they sold old prices at new stock prices. Oh, look. 1 second. Hello?
It's Yvonne.
Yvonne. Good morning. It's so... I can't believe you're actually on here this morning.
I'm on my way to Cheddar Gorge, so I thought I'd listen in.
Right, bear with me, Yvonne. I'm just going to open the door. 1 second. Little technical problem we had there. It's called my little dog. Yvonne, so you're going out for the day to have a day off, are you?
I am.
Good for you. Isn't it important to have those days off, isn't it?
It's very, very important to get some relaxation in your busy working week, definitely.
Absolutely. I hope you're not driving. Your handsome husband is driving.
He's the one doing the driving.
Say good morning to him.
Morning, Daryl.
Hi, Daryl. How's it going, Bert? Good to see you. Look, Yvonne, you've got like 27 live viewers on this morning. The economy is coming. This show is not just about landscaping. It's about views and opinions. And I want to know what you actually think about where we are now and whether the little mini budget has helped. And how would you like to see it going?
Well, just from what I've read in the papers, really, because I haven't actually watched any news yet, it does seem to be leaning more towards the very well-heeled in society, and obviously the discarded the cap on the bankers' pay or something like that. So that just really seems to be sorting them out and leaving the rest of us struggling still.
Their argument, Yvonne, when it comes to the bankers, they say that the banking system brings a lot of dollar or a lot of bucks to the UK. What do you think about that?
Oh, what about my bucks?
Yeah, exactly. I know, but I suppose they see it like some people see. They have opinions about the monarchy and the monarchy being, is it good for the economy? And I would say that certainly the monarchy is great for the economy because it brings in so much. But what they're saying is that the banking system brings a lot of revenue to the UK.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, and I've heard that argument that they're trying to boost the economy and things, but at the same time, they don't seem to, in this mini budget, to my understanding, which is very, very minimal,
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be much at the moment for the little man.
Can I ask you, do you think at the moment, if you were doing a budget at the moment, should we be spending, putting money back into the economy, or should we sort of hold back and wait for us to sort of keep out of that debt?
Oh my gosh, Johnny, what a question.
Yeah, but seriously, let me just stop you there for a moment, right? Just imagine for one moment that, you know, we all, I think you commented the other week about that if we haven't got the money, we have to borrow things to pay for things, you know, and then we pay.
I did say that, yes.
And I think that was such a valid point in so many ways, because the thing is, if we can service the debt, surely that's okay to do, isn't it?
If you are sensible, but as we know, a lot of people out there are very poor managers of their finances, and the banks used to be very free at lending to whoever wanted to lend. I think they're being a bit more responsible now, and so people were getting themselves in such situations with debt that they couldn't finance it. So I think some people are very prudent with their finances, and they can borrow, and they know they have a way of repaying that debt. But unfortunately, as you probably know, lots of people aren't in that situation.
Yeah, you know, yeah, absolutely, and it's just, do you know, Yvonne, it's everywhere you go. You know, I was walking my dogs this morning. Two gentlemen walking along. Just one was a salesman, and one worked for Welsh Water, and both of them made the comment. They were having a chat this morning. It's like when you're out walking, you're talking to people. They said that there's 1 million vacancies out there with jobs at the moment. 1 million vacancies. I'm just perplexed to think, why do some people tend to stay unemployment benefit or on job seekers, because they're getting the housing benefit, and there's no benefit for them to actually go to work, is there?
But I think I've also heard the argument that people stay on the benefit because to get a job that's going to pay them what they're getting on benefit, some of them probably haven't got the qualifications and so forth to get those type of jobs, so they're sort of like stuck in the system.
Well, Yvonne, you know, look, it's great to have this conversation. It is about opinions, but for me, it's so hard to actually get anybody to actually work. And for me, when many years ago, it was always a must that you must work a Saturday morning. It was just part of the package. And I can't for me to try and get people to work a Saturday morning now, because just imagine if I come working for you and there was an opportunity on a Saturday to finish off your project, we can get it grouted. Just imagine this, because of wet weather next week. But I know that next week, that even if we couldn't grate your patio, I'd be doing something else where we could work in the rain. But I couldn't work a Saturday because the person working for me doesn't want to come in, because they just want it all their own way. And I think times have changed massively, I think.
Yeah, but also for me myself, I have religion, and so for someone working for me Saturday wouldn't work.
Right, okay. I'll remember that now. Hey, look, Yvonne,
there's two sides to every argument. People want to have their weekends off. People, you know, probably have plans for the weekend, and they think, well, you know, does it matter about the grouting for having, you know, there's lots of different arguments for that, isn't there?
Isn't it amazing, Yvonne, how we start talking about the economy and we're moving in this direction? But do you really think that at the moment that like society's changed in such a way, isn't it? You know, and you know, for me, I just think that I think society has become soft. When you think of the generation that we were brought up in, you just imagine, for example, a child's bedroom back in the 70s or 80s, you know, being brought up, and what was in that bedroom in comparison to now in a child's bedroom.
It's all technology now, isn't it? I mean, when I was growing up, I mean, I didn't even have, gosh, what did I have in my room? Just my bed, dressing table, wardrobe, and maybe a mat, and that was it.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know, Yvonne, for me, I remember the windows, they were steel windows and they were frosty on the inside of the windows. We used to scrape the frost off. Do you think that do you think we have, it's too easy now and we have everything that we want? And that's why the economy or the country is in a bit of a mess. We're trying to get people into work and value themselves. You know, we need to inspire people more in a different way.
Yeah, I don't think it's that we have everything we want, because, you know, times change and, you know, we have to move with the times. I just think, I don't know what I think, Johnny. You're putting me on.
But Yvonne, listen. I really appreciate you coming on this morning, and I know you're a regular watcher of this, and I'm glad that you're on it. And I don't necessarily want to put you on the spot, but I do value your opinion and your thoughts. Yeah, I was saying I do value your opinion and your thoughts on all this, what's going on. You know, your opinion is valid to the show. I know you're not a contractor, but you are a consumer. You've spent money in the garden. Tell us about your little project that what went on for you, if you'd like to.
Right. Well, we had some people in to do our patio, and on the customer side, I know somebody mentioned that there's cowboy customers out there, and maybe there is, but my husband and myself, we're not one of them. We want to pay, we're happy to pay, but we also want a good job. So,
yeah, absolutely.
And the person that came to us, you know, I contacted them. They came very reassuring. You know, I shared my concerns, because a near neighbour of mine had work done, and from quite a reputable company as well, and they weren't very happy with the outcome of it. And so we expressed all of that and our concern, and, you know, it was quite a lot of money that they charged. So he reassured us, he came, but, you know, sort of quarter way through the job, you realise that, hang on a minute, what he told us initially isn't being fulfilled. And you sit there and you have this dread feeling, because they get other people in to do the work for them, to do the work in double quick time. So a job that should have taken maybe 3 days to a week, he wanted it completed by this group of men in a day.
Right.
They didn't his own workers, they didn't put enough hardcore down. And so he was angry with them. And then when the two men came to lay the porcelain tiles down, they said it wasn't enough, but they had to work with what they had. So they heaped up a lot of the hardcore, type 1 or whatever, up to the side of the house, along that edge.
Right.
And they put more sandish down the end where the lawn was going to be.
Okay.
They compacted very, very quickly, not a lot of compaction, not what I've seen you and other contractors do on your videos. They didn't compact it very well. And when I questioned them and said, look, have you compacted that enough? Yeah, you don't need to compact it, is what he said to me.
I know.
And when they were wheeling the cement over in the wheelbarrows, you can see the track marks on the subbase where the wheelbarrow was separating out the subbase, because it hadn't been compacted sufficiently, in my opinion.
Do you know, Yvonne, listening to you now, and I'm not stopping you talking now, but listening to what you're saying, you're picking up on all those little bits of evidence that you see, that what a contractor would see and would remedy straight away, knowing that it's not necessarily correct. For anyone who's actually watching this morning, we've got Yvonne and Durrell, her husband, the handsome man of Cardiff. They're joining us now. They're heading down towards the Cheddar Gorge. And Yvonne's telling us a little bit about, Stan just said, Yvonne knows her stuff. There we are, Yvonne. Just for you guys and girls that are watching this morning, I went to see Yvonne. Yvonne had some work done, and we weren't out there to shame. I never went there to shame the contractor and put their name out there. And Yvonne's had not the best of jobs being done, but there are things that need to be remedied and they need to be sorted out. But already Yvonne's noted things that we would see a contractor doing that we would want to put right if we were on a job. So Stan said Yvonne knows her stuff. And it's Yvonne, it's amazing. Do you think the videos that you see on YouTube of installations, if you'd watched these sooner, do you think it would have helped you a little bit, or can it help now?
I have been watching your videos, and I watched other people's videos, and that's why alerted me that something wasn't right. And then when I questioned the gentleman that was doing it, and I questioned the contractor, they weren't happy that I was questioning them, and they said, "We've been doing this job for more than 15 years. We know what we're doing." And the contractor said to me, "Don't ask too many questions because they'll walk off the job."
Really?
And so yes, because I just sat there with a dread feeling in my stomach thinking, "Oh my gosh." And they covered up, it's an infection drain or something. They just covered it over with the hardcore and with the cement and put the porcelain tile on top of it. It was just a shoddy job towards the end of it. I mean, I didn't say anything. My husband wasn't there, so I didn't feel strong enough on my own to say anything.
Well, I think I think you're a very strong lady, and I think that you've done as much as you could have done, considering the situation you were in. I don't think it's a difficult one to do, because you said that they threatened to walk off the job, didn't they? If you'd asked any more questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good, is it?
So I kept quiet because I thought I don't want him to go. And then I thought, well, maybe it's just me. Maybe it can be done this way. Maybe I'm just being too critical. So you sit there and you watch it, don't you?
Yeah, Yvonne, I don't think it's wrong to be critical of something. I think that, as contractors, we should be able to take constructive criticism just like anybody does. And I think the message that's coming from this morning is that whereas Yvonne has been through this nightmare scenario, is that if you are a consumer, there's nothing wrong with questioning your contractor. And I think that do you think this is going to help you in the future, this experience?
Well, yes and no, because I'm not going to have it done again, am I? Apart from the top bit that you're going to come into, which I know is going to go perfectly. I'm not going to have this done again, so...
Yeah, but you know what to expect.
It's a hard lesson that we've learned, and all we can do is advise any of our friends and family, to what to look out for and what to ask and things like that. I mean, it's a mistake. We made a mistake, and we have to learn from it.
Absolutely. I think that's the thing is, Yvonne, when I look at your job, it's still serviceable. There's a couple of things that need to be done. I don't think that you need to necessarily go down the legal route. I think going down the legal route, I don't think you're going to get anywhere with them whatsoever, ever. And being a godlike person, I think that you'll help to send a clear message out there through you and I, that if you are somebody that's looking to get some work done, there are lots of things that we can do to ensure that it heads in the right direction, I suppose, the next time. For example, if I was to come to your job and you see me doing something like what they've done, you would critique me, wouldn't you? You would say.
I would ask.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that,
I would ask a question.
Yeah, well, look, Yvonne, I massively applaud you for being very brave this morning, because you tell me you're shy, but I think you're far from being shy.
You're cutting out.
Yeah, Yvonne. Hello. Well, we lost Yvonne. Just to remind you guys and girls that are watching this morning, Yvonne and her husband Doral, they're lovely people. Unfortunately, they had some work done. It didn't turn out to be the best, but we can salvage it in some respects. So unfortunately, we lost her there. She's heading out this morning, and I'm so grateful for her to come in on and actually speaking to me this morning. And telling us about her experience. And 19 likes, 20 viewers this morning. Thank you all for joining this morning. Nicholas McCartney's just joined us now. Nick, you was trying to call earlier on, and it was I just couldn't you was on the wrong number, Nick. If you want to call in now, Nick, and you can see this number coming up now. I got it. I can write it now, Nick. 795664002. Nick, coming up now on this live feed, you can actually see the number that's come up now. 07795 664002. It'd be great to have Nicholas McCartney on there. We've been away, Nick. We've been doing some things. So if you want to give me a call this morning, Nick, I want to hear what you have to say. It'd be great to have you on. But call on that number, 07795 664002. It's such a shame that we'd lost Yvonne then. I tried to reconnect with her. I think she was calling in then, but it just wouldn't allow me to connect. It must have been the signal. Stan says, can I ask scalping versus MOT type 1, as far as I know, less dust? Well, I think what we got to try and do, Stan, when we're looking at sub bases, we've got to address the actual both parts of it. We got to think about how big the stone is and how big the binder is. You've got to have plenty of binder to bring the two elements together. And black sand versus yellow sand depends what you're actually using it for. Sand, I think, Stan, if we're using for paving, we got to have sharp sand. Do you know, Stan, you've actually picked up on a fantastic point there now, is that people have different types of products across the country. I believe that a lot of the yellow sand is pit sand and is used for brickwork. So it just depends what the makeup is of your sand. If we're doing very, very fine sand, building sand, we would not be using that for laying paving. We want a really coarse sand. We've talked and touched upon this subject so many times on this channel. It's absolutely fine. We can talk about it again, even if there's some people that don't even want to hear about it. If you're laying paving, you want to use a sharp sand. And what they used to do years ago, they used to have dredge sand, and dredge sand was, there we go, we've got a caller coming in now this morning. Here we go. Hello.
Hello, John.
How are you, Nick? How are you, mate? How are you, Nick?
I'm all right, actually.
Yeah, good to hear. Just to let our viewers know, we got Nicholas McCartney joined us this morning, and Nick is an absolutely wonderful garden designer, and he's going to tell you a little bit about himself before we get into conversation. Nick, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I had a bad week last week because I had a seizure, but they got my drugs.
Right.
Yeah. So it's beautiful weather down here in Banbury.
How are you feeling, Nick, now anyway?
Well, I'm feeling better now after my dialysis yesterday.
Right, okay.
But actually, I'm okay. Pretty good.
Yeah, just to let any of the viewers watching this morning, we've got Nicholas McCartney. He's a fantastic garden designer and a plant man down there in Banbury in Oxford. Nick, just briefly, just give our audience a chance. Some of them will know you and some won't, but just let them know what you've been going through the last couple of years.
So in November 2020, I had open heart surgery. And when I came round from the anaesthetic, I'd had a stroke. And then I had coronavirus, and I was on the coronavirus ward at the JR in Oxford.
Right.
And loads of people around me were dying, but I was still fighting. And then I had pneumonia, which knocked me for 6. And then I had to go to the intensive care ward because I contracted sepsis. So yeah, I've been through the ringer a little bit. And at the moment, I'm confined to a wheelchair. But thankfully, Joe, the OT who you met, has looking at a device to help me walk again.
That's the occupational therapist, Joe, that we actually met. So she's going to try and get you walking again, isn't she, Nick?
Yeah, she is, yeah.
Nick, it's always good to talk to you because you blow my mind with your knowledge and your expertise, and secondly is your kindness. You're such a kind, gentle man, Nick, and I and that's where the word comes from, gentleman. And you are definitely a gentleman, and you're extraordinarily tall. But it's been an absolute pleasure of meeting you. Now we've got over all that niceties. Nick, in the garden, come on, what's going on in the garden? Just to let you know, Nick, before we let you have the stage, I bought 3 Japanese anemones. There was an abundance of flowers on them. I thought they're going to be flowering for some time now. And Alice and I went away for a couple of days. And when I come back, they were in the pot and they dried out, Nick. And
Right.
Are they dead or are they?
No, they're not dead. If you give them a good water and see if they sprout back, but it takes a lot to kill a Japanese anemone.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But now we're in autumn. A lot of gardeners are having what they call the autumn cutback and prune and tidy up. So any perennials that are still flowering, just deadhead them to keep them flowering longer. Things like Cosmea, Echinacea, Cosmos, and the like, really.
Nick, I'm loving this now. I'm absolutely loving this. I got goose pimples on my sides. Sometimes with these channels, we lose a few viewers because it's not necessarily what their thing, but it doesn't matter. If they want to go, it's absolutely fine. We're talking plants. We're approaching autumn now, aren't we, Nick? Are we still late summer, early autumn, or are we actually in autumn?
Well, it's judging by the forecast for next week. There's quite a cool weather front coming in from the north, from Greenland. But really, yeah, as the temperatures drop, we're coming into autumn planting season, really. And if you're buying winter bedding or Sweet Williams or Bellis or bulbs, now is the ideal time to get them in.
Okay. Look, Nick, at the moment I've got this thing because it's got a bit colder. I keep thinking cyclamens and callas and brassicas and those types of plants in the pots outside the front door, Nick. Are we getting approaching that time yet? Are we anywhere near that?
Well, it depends whereabouts in the country you are, but if you're in a cold zone, then you really need to start thinking about getting them into a greenhouse or into a conservatory so they've got a bit of frost protection.
Right, okay. Nick, listen, what we want is when we're approaching our front door when we've been at work or we've got guests coming now, the garden's not looking great. We've got some evergreens which give structure, in the garden, right? But there you are. Yvonne's just come back. She's travelling down to Cheddar and she's listening to you now. Now, Nick, Yvonne says, let me just see what Yvonne says there. She says, what should we plant for winter colour, right? But before Yvonne gets her question answered, front door, Nick, what we can think about what goes in a pot outside the front door approaching autumn now? What can we plant a pot for us, Nick? Come on, let's imagine it. Tell us a little bit about those plants.
So winter pansies is an obvious choice.
Yeah.
Winter flowering heathers. So anything with Erica carnea in the name is a good one for winter.
Right.
Winter cyclamen. So cyclamen in the garden centres in bedding plants. Those are good, but not really. They hate to dry out. So you still got to water them in, even in the winter. Make sure they're nice and moist around the root system. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, because the corms hate drying out.
So it's a corm. Okay.
Yeah, it's a corm.
Yeah.
And winter flowering heathers, as I mentioned, and anything that's evergreen and produces berry or flower is ideal.
Right, okay, look, Nick, I'm not going to put you on the spot now, but how important is it to make your front door look good, at a reception area? We can make it look good, can't we? We can have that little area, we can compartmentalise a little piece of magic by our front door on our doorstep, can't we?
We can, yeah. I'm going to be doing my winter hanging baskets this weekend, and winter troughs at the front, and just make the front of the house look really special for the winter.
Yeah, Nick, do you think a lot of people forget about, like, for me now is I'm actually still, it might sound daft for some people, but it's like some people think about Christmas in sort of the summertime, but I'm actually thinking about spring bulbs now, or bulbs for January and February, perennial bulbs. What can we use for perennial bulbs in January and February? What can we use in our gardens? Maybe what sort of bulbs can we put in our lawn, Nick, when we're not cutting our lawn in January and February? What bulbs can we put in there to give a bit of colour?
So for the autumn crocuses, which are called colchicums,
Yeah.
and spring flowering crocuses, miniature daffodils, tate-a-tate, snowball and pirouette, and liriope, Mccartney, and
Yeah.
such and such.
Yeah, when we talk about tate-a-tate, that's those little double-headed daffodils, basically, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really miniature. They're miniature, and some of them are fragrant as well. And those would be ideal in pots at the front door as well.
Yeah, they look great though, don't they, Nick? So the colchicums, the ones they call naked ladies or something like that, aren't they? They've got no leaves, have they? No leaves.
No leaves. No leaves to them.
Yeah, and obviously we can have evergreens in pots as well. We can put like bay trees at half standard or like those quarter standard size, and
yeah, and Christmas roses, Helleborus, Orientalis, or Niger. Those are great in pots, and providing winter colour because they flower November to May.
Oh, Nick, you've planted. Pardon the pun, but you've planted such a picture for me at the moment. It's really exciting to think. It's those things, Nick, that they help us to get through the winter, don't they?
They do, yeah.
So
they provide winter colour and winter warmth.
Winter colour and winter warmth. I absolutely love it. Nick, maintenance this weekend in the garden. What should we be looking at though? Maintenance can be done all year round as long as we're careful how we do things. But maintenance in the garden this weekend, what should we be doing?
Raise the height on your lawnmower for cutting the grass. So don't cut as close as you were doing during the summer months. So raise the height on the cut. Keep your edges trimmed. Plant up bulbs or winter bedding, and just give those borders a light forking over.
Right.
And for the vegetable growers, get a crop of spinach in and plant some garlic.
Ah, Nick, that's brilliant. So spinach and some garlic. We can think about. Do we buy it in the green, like from the flowers from the garden centres or the nurseries? Do we buy it in the green, or do we just the spinach? Obviously, because it's spinach. How does it come, Nick? Is it what is the spinach? Is it like a root? Is it?
No, it's seed.
A seed.
But if you start it off in cells or direct in the raised bed, then keep it well watered and moist, and it will provide a crop through the winter months.
Right. So do we buy those seeds? Are they a big seed or a small seed?
No, it's quite a big seed actually. It's like a crumb-like seed. But
right.
Buy it in the garden centre or nursery, and do a drill in the ground and sow it finely. Don't sow in big drills.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't want too many together. So spinach and garlic. Is the garlic in the UK grown in boxes? Is it as good as some of the imported garlic, Nick?
Pardon?
Is the garlic that we grow in our gardens as good as some of the imported garlic that we buy?
Yeah, it's the hardneck varieties. Isle of Wight, there's a very famous garlic farm on the Isle of Wight, and I think they do mail order, so you really want to go for varieties like Thermidor or Solomon.
Right, okay, and that's on the Isle of Wight. So would we get that on an online page, or can you
online? They've got I think they've got an online shop.
What's it called, Nick? And I'm going to try and get this link on there now.
I will have to have a look.
That's okay. That's
and
okay.
then send you the link.
That's fantastic. Send me the link at some point and it'd be good to have a look. Yvonne Gordon from Cardiff, and I know Yvonne, she's a lovely lady, beautiful lady, in fact, but her husband is a handsome man as well. They say, can you put Heavies in pots?
Yes, you can. Heavies are ideal in pots. Make sure that you give them enough drainage, and then
What?
Sorry, I can't get my words out.
That's fine, Nick. Look, we're with you. We can wait for that. It's no problem at all. And if they don't wait, they can go. Would you say that the root systems are they a fibrous root system, or are they a deep root, Nick? Because this is the questions I'm looking for now.
Heavies are shallow rooted.
Shallow rooted.
So the roots stay fairly close to the main part of the plant.
Right. Okay. Nick, honest mate, I gotta tell you, I'm sat here, and you know that I know a reasonable amount about plants, but I'm just like a kid in a sweet shop listening to this now. It's just you're giving me the answers without me looking up. I'm curious. I want to know about it. Is this something that you and I could actually do in the future, where we can maybe do a podcast about plants? Can't we?
Definitely, yeah. I'm happy to do that.
Oh, that'd be absolutely brilliant. Look, Nick, before I ain't going to say goodbye to you at the moment, but how's Michelle? We haven't mentioned Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle's well.
Good.
Michelle is well.
Good. So, what's the plans this week for you, Nicholas McCartney?
For the week or weekend?
For the week, sir. We'll move on to the weekend so fast. Let's get through the week. What's on the agenda this week for you?
So I've got dialysis on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Right.
And then I'm seeing Joe, the OT, on Tuesday, all being well. And then on Thursday, I need to get up to the allotment and give the raised beds a tidy, and then look at getting some winter veg in.
Well, Nick, I think at some point Alice and I are going to have to come down and spend like an afternoon or a morning with you in the allotment, aren't we?
Yeah, that would be ideal, yeah.
No, that'd be brilliant, Nick. It'd be good to come. You can put Alice and I to... Well, you can put Alison to work. I can sit there and eat donuts and drink tea while Alison performs. She's not a bad worker, is she?
No, she's an excellent worker. Both of you are excellent.
Nah, that's great. Nick, how does it feel? How does it feel like now, since we've done the allotment, we've gone down there, we've helped out, we've sort of got it going for you, like, but how does it feel now for you inside, that feeling? Do you feel like settled? Does it help? Are you feeling good?
Oh yeah, it will make a difference. Last week I had my seizure and I was unwell, and the after effects of a seizure, I'm so tired and exhausted.
I bet.
But this week I am feeling really well, and dialysis went well yesterday and on Wednesday.
Right.
And having the allotment paved like that, it will make my life so much easier, because Michelle will be able to go and work in the cut flower garden up the road and leave me to my own devices in plot 1 with the raised beds and paving.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick, what we're going to have to do, I think, for you, we're going to have to get you a sealer to seal that paving over, and maybe I can do it on a dry day before the winter comes now and give it a clean off, because I think it will help for maintenance. All these sealers, Nick, don't necessarily stop the algae or the microorganisms growing into, certainly with sandstone, and the mosses and what have you, but it'll help to reduce it. So it'd be a good idea to get a sealer of some sort along your paving, and sort of just to help really, and sort of maintain its colour as well. So that's something that we can actually think about. How is the ramp, Nick? That's what I want to know. I was a bit concerned about the ramp that we laid. How is that? Is it all good?
The ramp's fantastic, actually.
Good.
Funny enough, Malcolm, who's the old boy who has the allotment opposite,
yeah,
he wanted to know where his preformed concrete slabs have gone.
All right. Well, we never had them, do we?
No, they're still there.
Oh, that's all right.
They're still there.
That's all right. Nick, listen, what I got to ask you, are you going to be well enough in the future where we can actually, maybe you and I do the plant podcast on a regular basis where we talk about plants, and I want to know if you're going to be well enough to sort of answer some of the questions, and don't worry about getting tongue-tied with it, but do you fancy really doing something like that with me, the plant podcast?
Yeah, definitely.
Right, well, okay.
I just want to be able, I just want to concentrate on being able to walk again, and being independent as much as possible, so that I can do things like that with you.
Yeah, Nick, I'd love it, mate. I'd love it, absolutely love it. Nick, are you actually are you giving any advice to any consumers across the country now, or landscapers that need some consultancy and to be able to talk to you? Are you able to take a call, or are you doing any of that now? Is that where you want to go, or what?
Yeah. I definitely, I definitely would take a inquiry like that.
Right. Okay. And are you able to sort of respond by email? Are you well enough to do that?
I can do it by email or by virtual online, like a Zoom call, or I can do it via telephone.
Oh, let's do it, Nick. Let's think about that then. So, Nick, without any further ado, can you just tell us what your website address is? I'm going to try and copy and paste that now. Can you tell us what it's called again?
www.banburygardeners.co.uk.
Banbury Gardener. Bear with me, Nick. .co.uk. I'm going to get that up now. I'm going to try and Banbury Bambury, is it? Banbury Gardeners.
Yeah,
it's not come up, Nick, for some reason. Reload, site cannot be found. Look, we'll get that up at some time. I'll try and copy and paste that onto this podcast this morning. Nick, I'm always blown away by having you on here. I could sit with you all day and drink tea and eat donuts. I like a donut, and just listen to what you have to say, and maybe even do something. Look, I'm going to speak to Alison. We're all busy. We've all got lots going on, but maybe we can pop down one Saturday afternoon and spend some time in the garden, and then maybe go for a meal or something to eat and chew the fat, as they say.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. That would be.
All right, Nick. Well, thanks very much for joining this morning. We have got other people we need to speak to this morning, but thanks for calling, Nick, and I will speak to you later on. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, cheerio, John.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you are. That was Nicholas Mccartney, and as usual, Nick has always got plenty to say. I'm absolutely blown away by his knowledge of plants and garden design and garden build. He's just there is nobody out there like him. He is he's just second to none. So it was good having Nicholas Mccartney on here. I can't believe that we've hit the 62 minutes. So it was good to have Nick on here. If any of you viewers now at the moment have had any questions about any of the topics that we were talking about this morning, it's amazing that I entitled it the economy, but we touched upon that very little. It's amazing how people don't necessarily want to talk about the economy. I'm not sure whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. I think it's just that people just get fed up watching mainstream TV and news and all those social media channels where they are talking about the economy, and people just get fed up of it. It's only the other night they were actually saying that we've been in this recession now for 5 to 6 months, whatever, but it hasn't really affected a lot of us. We're still plodding on. That's what we're doing. We plod on regardless, and regardless of any recessions or difficult times we've had in the past. The fact is, it just seems that people get fed up of hearing about that. We got a few more viewers on here at the moment, so I'm going to stay with it. If you want to talk about anything that we've actually discussed this morning, or anything that we haven't discussed, now is the time. Whether you're thinking about having your garden landscape. For me personally, what I'm doing as a business, I'm actually doing a lot more consulting with potential customers that need help as well, who aren't necessarily going to use me. I'm not going to say I'm a professional witness, because I dread the thought of actually going into court and being a professional witness on something, because in some cases, some of those guys that are professional witnesses out there are going to get torn to shreds without a shadow of a doubt. And I've certainly experienced both sides of that in the past and over the years. It has not been straightforward. And as good as we are as a company, and we try to have things that have clarity and understanding and focus on what we do as a business and what we deliver, some things sometimes get lost in translation. There's no ifs or buts about it. Things get lost in translation. And I think that people try to pull the wool over your eyes, and people mentioned it this morning. I can't remember, looking back, that some people actually said that that it's not just the Cowboys, it's sometimes the customers that can also be untoward, and we've experienced that. There's one thing that we do as a business here: we are always accountable. We're always prepared to discuss any situations or any problems that have been occurred during the process of a job, and we don't walk away from it. We actually deal with it. And I've certainly have experienced the consumer in some cases that have been an absolute pain in the backside. We got to say it as it is. I'm not going to swear. I'm not going to try and gain engagement by being shocking with language, but it really makes me incensed that we've actually dealt with people before, and they may be actually watching this morning. And the beauty of this channel is that I can actually have the ability and the option to say, you were absolutely disgusting how you treated us. And we were treated in a bad way on a couple of occasions over the years. Not fair, not founded, not called for, and certainly unfair in so many ways. And I do feel for a lot of contractors. But Yvonne this morning spoke about an experience that she had with a contractor, and it seems that this contractor had used other contractors to do the job, and she had a threat of them walking off the job if she decided to pursue with any more questions of the project that they were commissioned to do. But the fact is that if you are concerned at any time of anything that is going on during a project and you have concerns, you need to voice your opinion, and you need to voice your opinion in a respectful way, and in a way that it allows the contractor to be able to answer you and to give you some answers. What we don't want to be doing is going into an argument and falling out with people. But unfortunately, some people get treated really bad. Yvonne's still with us at the moment. It's the contractors that bring in outside labour that are producing poor work, yeah, without a doubt. And for me, over the years, one of the reasons that I've never grown in numbers, and we had about 6 or 7 years ago when that was just about it for me, I couldn't have handled any more, is that you actually lose sight of what you promised to produce for your customer. And you know, there are a couple of companies out there in the country that are producing exceptional work because they've got some exceptional staff and they're delivering an exceptional service to their customers. So it's good to see that people doing that. Yvonne says now, those that work alone are more accountable. Well, Yvonne, I got to say, there is a guy, and he is top end, Mark Gregory up in London, and some of the work he's doing, he's got a lot of people work for him, and he's just in that part of the market where they are charging in a way that it allows them to get the job done comfortably. I think sometimes, not necessarily in your case, I think that you were treated really badly, but I think in some cases, some contractors don't necessarily price correctly. And I'm not saying that was for you, certainly. That gentleman there's nothing wrong with using subcontractors as long as they deliver. And certainly a lot of companies across the countries do use subcontractors. So it's a bit of a strange one, really. Not a strange one, but you need to understand it. But for me personally, I don't want to be running with big teams now. You start losing sight of it, and you can't rely on the people that are working for you. And certainly what we're having now across the country is there are a lot of people that don't actually want to work apart from the big companies, but they do charge as well, like, you know. But sometimes even with big companies, it can go actually drastically wrong when you actually think about builders companies out there at the moment. So some of the big ones like Persimmon and Bellway and all those others, I can't even remember who they all are now. They are producing generally a lot of poor work in places. As a whole, they are producing a lot of work because they have this thing of procrastinating about getting things done. And we know from experience, I know from other people that talk to me on a regular basis about the experience they have with building contractors, not building contractors per se as the small individual builder, but certainly some of those big commercial companies that are out there that aren't necessarily delivering the quality work. And certainly with, and I'm going to say it now, and it took 5 years to get things sorted out in this house. This was a new build, and it took 5 years to get it sorted out, which was quite upsetting in some respects and quite annoying how things dragged out. And certainly at the moment, we've had a problem with a log burner. I'm not going to name the company because they are dealing with it, but that's gone on for 4 years, 3 years or 4 years now, I think, and it's still not right. And they're going to have one more chance to put it right after all these years. And if they don't put it right, then we will have to think about doing something legal to ensure that it gets done. Because the problem with our log burner is that the flue was the problem, and then the flue was causing problems with the fire, and then the log company that installed it was blaming the manufacturer and so on. And it was really, you know, it was people blaming other people and waiting for other people to get it sorted out. 3 to 4 years that's been sorted out. It's been taken to get sorted. And then it's also had a detrimental effect on our neighbours because they've had to go through the garden to gain access to the flue on the outside, which is a bit annoying. I don't even know what the answer is to all this, but I think the one thing that Alison, my wife, has demonstrated with the company that installed it is that they've been allowed to deal with the problem, and we've given them options all the time. We've insisted and persisted that they get this done. We haven't let it go. We haven't threatened them with any legal documents or threatened them with anything legal. We've kept the dialogue going, and I think that's the most important thing, is that if you do have a problem, try and keep the dialogue going. And I know that you do want it to carry on, but as long as you keep the dialogue going, it's an open-ended situation there where you can get it dealt with. Nicholas Mccartney says winter colour planting can include pansies, violas, bellies, sweet williams, bulbs, heathers, Cenaria, etc., etc. Nick, I hope I've said it right there. Lewis, hiya bud, how's it going? Good to see Lewis up there. If you're looking for a contractor up in Cumbria, Lewis, get your details on here now because this will be going out later on. We've still got 17 viewers, 72 minutes, 46. Lewis, it'd be nice to, if you want to give us a call, Lewis, it'd be good to have you on here at the moment. I know we've got a few actually listening at the moment. We've covered all sorts of topics this morning, all sorts of things. It's been really, really engaging listening to people at the moment and listening to what they have to say. Nicholas Mccartney down there in Banbury talking about plants. He's a real plants man and a designer. And Lewis up there in Cumbria. Lewis, give us a ring. 07795664002. We had Yvonne call us this morning. I'm Lewis from Wilmslow, Cheshire. I knew that as well. I just got it wrong at the beginning with C. Lewis, if you want to give us a ring, it'd be good to see what you have to say. I want to know what you're doing. And there you have it. If you're a consumer looking for a contractor or a garden designer, landscaper, it's on here now. And one of them is Lewis from Wilmslow, Cheshire. Lewis, get the link to your site. We're going to drive some traffic to your site today, if not today, the weekend, or even next week, next month, whatever. Lewis, what are you doing for your social media at the moment? And are things affecting you out there with the economy and all this doom and gloom that so mainstream media keep putting out there. Lewis, I want to know a little bit more about you. If you want to give us a ring this morning, the number is, I'm going to type it in, Lewis, so I'm going to encourage you to call. I don't want you to be shy. Oh, let's get on that. Oh, there. Oh, let's get on there. 7095 664 002. It's mad how you can't type and say and type at the same time. 11:45, time's going on. I've got to bring this to an end. There's the number on there. Top notch. Good morning, John. From my villa in Italy. You got to send us some pictures. Your villa in Italy, top notch. I want to see that. I want to see that. Your villa in Italy, because that's where I'm going to be staying soon. Lewis says not. He's not going to call this morning. He's a bit shy. It's 11:45. We've been going for an hour and a half nearly. Absolutely amazing. Hour and a half, hour 45. Yeah. Hour 15. I tell a lie. I get in a mess all the time. Look, we've had a great live stream this morning. If you haven't liked the channel this morning, give it a like now. We've got 13 viewers now. That's it. Thanks for joining us. It's gone on a bit this morning. It's been really, really interesting. It'd be nice to get it from the studio, but Rocco at the Ethernet cable, so we can get a live stream on there. Yeah, Rocco being my dog. That's it. Thanks for joining. If you've got any questions, drop us an email, info@greentoplandscapes.co.uk. Can't call this morning, just with the family, but can call another time. Lewis, let's get you on here, mate. I'll give you a ring. Let's get something arranged. Drop me a message on Instagram. It'd be good to have you on here. Nick, let's do the planting podcast with Nicholas McCartney and Johnyboy, where we can ask some questions. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. As I said, info@greentoplandscapes.co.uk. Visit the website, www.greentoplandscapes.co.uk. Thanks for joining. Be safe. Have a great weekend and just enjoy. Remember, life's short. It's fleeting. Enjoy it now. See you guys. No worries, Stan. Okay, Abdul.